Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, we're off and we're running another brand new live edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you, hanging out until 9 a.m. on a fantastic Friday morning. And once again, we do start you off, 256-576-4977. That's how you can be a part of the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. That's how you can be a part of the show on a Friday morning. And once again, though, we do start you off with SEC Tournament baseball coverage. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We've been your home all week long for SEC Tournament baseball. Yesterday, you had 9th seed Alabama, 5th seed Auburn hitting the diamond there in Hoover. And it was the day's second game. And this one would go the way of Alabama. Here's how it sounded right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, courtesy of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Look, and now the 1-0 popped him up. Shallow left field, going out will be Jarvis. He will make the grab, and the ball game is over, and Alabama eliminates Auburn from the SEC tournament, and the Tide advances to play tomorrow night against either Florida or Vanderbilt. 7-4 your final here at the Met as Bama rolls on in the SEC tournament.
Alabama getting the 7-4 win over Auburn in the SEC baseball tournament. As for Alabama, they do reach 40 wins for the first time since 2010 when they finished the year 42-5. Garrett McMillan struck out a season-high 8 batters. His previous best this year was 7 at Texas A&M. His 6 innings of work ties his season-high total, which he had thrown on 2 previous occasions, most recently in that start against the Aggies. Alabama finished with 14 hits, now recorded double-digit hits in 35 games. 8 of the 9 Tide starters recorded at least 1 hit on the day. They have also recorded a home run in 49 of 58 games. Tommy Seidel extended his hitting streak to 10. That goes all the way back to May 9th. Over that stretch, he is batting an impressive .432, 16 of 37, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 13 RBIs, 13 runs scored, 4 walks, 2 hit by pitch, and a stolen base. So as for Alabama, they will be back on the diamond today. They are going to take on 4th seed Vanderbilt. That'll come after Texas A&M and LSU, which will get underway at 3 o'clock. The reason why we get that matchup is because 10th seed Texas A&M blew off 6th seed South Carolina 5-0 yesterday. And then your other one saw 2nd seed Arkansas get by 3rd seed LSU 5-4. So that is why we do get the 2 games we get today, Texas A&M, LSU, Alabama, Vanderbilt. Arkansas will await the winner of Texas A&M, LSU. Florida will await the winner of Alabama, Vanderbilt. After the game, interim head coach Jason Jackson.
Last night, right? But I thought the guys did a great job today of coming out on kind of a quick turnaround for both teams, you know, and we felt like coming into this game, whoever could kind of bring that energy early on and get out to an early lead was going to have an advantage. And we knew we had GMAC on the mound, and he was going to give us a great start. And, you know, he certainly did that. But we were able to get on the board early with Tommy's home run. And, you know, it's a credit to these guys, you know, after last night and you lose a heartbreaker and, you know, you go back to the hotel. And like I said in here in this, you know, press conference where, you know, it's okay to be pissed. It's okay to be ticked off, but don't bring it to the yard with you today. And, you know, you could tell this morning when we were in our pregame stuff, man, they were loose as could be. And we were riding on the bus over here and you could just feel it like they were, you know, they had kind of turned the page, and we said, let's make sure we don't bring it to the yard with us today. And you could tell right away that they didn't. So just a great effort all around, you know, GMAC. And then, you know, our main guys, man, our 2, 3, and 4 hitters had 6 RBIs. So when your dudes are dudes, you know, usually good things happen.
That's interim head coach Jason Jackson after the Tides win over Alabama.
Yeah, and don't forget there was one more dude in the 9-hole. He went 3 for 4. We had him in this studio when he committed to the Crimson Tide. We know his father very well. Now the offensive coordinator at Whitesburg Christian Academy, and that's Caden Rose. Rose went 3 for 4 out of the 9-hole. Nearly went 4 for 4. Just missed a 2-run homer to dead center. Played really well yesterday. Gave him a spark, and then as you heard Coach Jackson, the middle of the order guys did the job too. No question about that. Seidel got him started in the first inning with the solo home run. He came out in the fourth, Scott, and had nearly hit for the cycle already. He'd hit a double along with that bomb, and then he singled and knocked in another run. Tweaked something in his lower half, a little leg looked like coming out of the batter's box, and so they decided to put Will Hammiter, the senior, in just to give Seidel some rest, and Hammy did a nice job too, so getting on base. So it was a good team win for Alabama, and I completely agree. Whoever jumped on the other in that game, I felt like had a chance to win. Alabama's pitching was a little better lined up than Auburn's, but I thought McMillan gave them a solid start, nearly 100 pitches, got nearly through 6 innings. They brought in, Hagen Banks to get the last out of the 6th, and now Banks will be available today because they ended up going with Riley Quick, getting him back in the mix because he hadn't thrown in a few weeks. He was a little rusty, but his stuff was really good. He was throwing in the high to mid-90s, or mid to high 90s, I should say. And then they were able to bring in Hunter Hoops to get the last 2 big outs because Auburn pressed in the 9th inning. I mean, they had the tying run at the plate. And so, Alabama did something, that I thought was a little bit questionable. They gave up a base runner, and then he stole second base, Auburn's leadoff guy. And then Alabama decided to shift and just leave nobody on third base, and he took third, and then they gave up an RBI base hit via the shift with Cole Foster. So it was a little bit strange, but again, they were able to stabilize themselves and get through it. I think it does lock up a host for them now. May have already, but I think that went a long way to help that. And then as you talked about, the Gators took out Vanderbilt 6-2 last night, and Thor, the God of Thunder, a.k.a. the catcher, B.T. Riopel, had 2 more home runs, including a grand slam. The Gators only had 4 hits, but they made them count, and they beat Vanderbilt 6-2. So Alabama going to have to get another shot at the Commodores, their first one since that series in Tuscaloosa. So another opportunity for Alabama to stack some dubs, and they've got their pitching's lined up still pretty good with Jacob McNary from Athens. Their Sunday starter going to start, and they've still got Hagen Banks and probably Cade Woods, who pitched in the first game in middle relief. So they should be in good shape relatively. Now, Vandy's still very talented on the bump, but the Tide's got a good shot tonight, I think.
Now, across the dugout, Bryson Ware for Auburn. Kind of ironic, Hunter Morris, your 2010 SEC Player of the Year, is in the Alabama dugout as a hitting coach for Alabama. He tied the record on Wednesday. Yesterday, he breaks Auburn's single-season home run mark of 24 home runs. Now, it's kind of funny because remember in 2010, the bats had just changed, I believe, or after 2010, the NCAA changed the composite of the bats. And so hitting home runs in college baseball is not as easy as what it used to be. Used to be all you'd have to do is get a little bit of contact.
Unless you're at Tennessee.
Yeah. And then the ball would go out. But Bryson Ware hits his 24th home run yesterday. After the game, Butch Thompson, this was interesting. This here, just take a listen to what Butch Thompson had to say.
Or something this week.
Yeah, we're going to make something positive out of it. But if you want to win a championship, the 9 World Series that I've been a part of as an assistant and bag boy, whatever, grad assistant, everything, head coach, you have to work through these hurdles. You can't do tired. You can't do cold, or you can't win the first month of the season, right? So there's some things that you can't do. Every time I've walked in Omaha, you're not walking in full strength, and you see people go through an entire season. And I guess the people that you hear that don't understand that just probably never been there. But somehow you have to muster up, whatever you got at that end of the year and play your best, and maybe not feel your best after you went on a journey of 60-plus ball games. So at the end of the day, and the things that I'll hash out with these guys, we'll pick up the pieces and we will absolutely start sharpening again and get this team ready to play. But I will remind them, because there's 8 things that happened today that were from a mind standpoint, and this winds up being your best tool, especially in a tournament like this where you're matched athletically. This is the best amateur baseball on earth, and when you're matched athletically, this becomes the biggest thing that you possess. That was off for us some today in some moments. And again, like I said, if the 2-out hits had changed one way or the other there, we would have been right in the ball game. And they had to bounce back from something last night too. But I just think this is going to be our biggest tool if we have any intention of trying to make it to Omaha 3 of the last 4. But we have to stay in the moment. I had a charge with this team that I wanted them to win the SEC tournament. So, it's okay to fail at things. It's just about getting back, put back together, and go try for what's next. What's really neat at the end of the day, what matters the most, is there's still opportunity in baseball for this ball club, and that's what we'll focus on.
That's Butch Thompson. Some good stuff there about his team, but really for every team that is going on beyond the SEC baseball tournament. And you talk about it in football, and you talk about it in a lot of things. It's from the neck up in the mental stuff going forward.
It is, and it's such a grind, and I thought that the Auburn was solid yesterday. It's just Alabama got a couple big hits early, and they did do – Alabama did a really good job situationally. I thought they ran the bases really well. I think there was only one opportunity early with Colby Shelton up there where they didn't, weren't able to move a runner or get the sack fly to get the run in. He hit a foul pop, and actually Hamiter decided to tag up because Foster made a nice running catch, and it was a difficult throw, needed to be perfect in foul territory, decided to tag up and test him. And Alabama, appealed, but it was a good throw, good tag, and got him out at home plate. But other than that, I thought Alabama squeezed it out at what they could. They were able to continue. And when Auburn cut it from 5-1 to 5-3,
right.
Alabama got 2 runs, didn't get the third, which the one I just talked about was thrown out at the plate, but they extended the lead back to 7-3 to make you feel a little bit better because, again, Auburn's explosive. You just talked about Bryson Ware, what a record that is. And, I mean, he was coming off of a year last year where he struggled. I think he hit maybe 1 home run in 94 at-bats, and now this year he's got an OPS of over 1,000 and 24 home runs, 62 RBIs. I mean, he's had one hell of a season. He hit that laser beam out to left field to set the record, and I think he's homered in 3 straight games. I think he homered in every game in the tournament for Auburn, so he's doing a heck of a job. They need him hot going into the regionals, no doubt about it, and tip your hat to him because think about it, man. They just unveiled a statue this season of Big Frank, who I think is the greatest player in Auburn history. And his former pitching coach, who's now at least Scott Academy coaching his son, Tim Hudson, he was a hell of a hitter and two-way player when he came out of junior college in the late 90s and 96, 97 to play at Auburn before he got drafted. He was a hell of a player. And then you got his hitting coach, Gabe Gross, who was a starter from his freshman year on. There's some great players. Hunter, you talked about Hunter Morris coming from Grissom. We watched him play. He was kind of a trailblazer here because when he came along around 06 or so, around that time, or in the early 2000s, I should say, because his senior year at Auburn was 2010, or I guess junior year. I think he turned pro after his junior season was 2010. But in the early 2000s, when he came along at Grissom, 8th graders didn't play. varsity athletics. He was kind of the first.
Right.
And he was a stud both hitting and on the mound. And we've had him on the show, and he's been kind of rising through the coaching ranks in college baseball. And, Coach 2 times brought him in as the hitting coach last year. This is his second time. Or second year, whatever you want to say, and play on words there.
Right.
But he's done a good job with the hitters. There's no doubt about it. Alabama's hitting 300 as a team, and they had 14 hits yesterday. I mean, they pounded out. They didn't get a lot of extra base hits, but they did a really nice job. Seidel got the bomb, and hopefully Sarge is going to be available today because I think Alabama's going to need him. He's hitting over 360. But now I will say this, though. There's more, and this is not disrespecting Hoover, but I think Alabama's going to host a regional, and that's going to be the biggest games of the year. So if there's any inkling that he's a little bit nicked up still tonight, I wouldn't be shocked if Will Hammerter's in left field, and then you just sort of roll with that.
Right.
Because
you're playing more. You know you're going to
play next probably Friday. We haven't heard the times or whatever the announcements. And don't forget, everybody, you'll know by Sunday, not Monday, whether Alabama's hosting or not, because they announced the 16 hosting spots on Sunday evening.
The field gets announced at 11 a.m. on Monday.
That's correct.
They do the rest early. All right, got to get a break in. When we come back, Brian Harsin opened up to Chris Lowe about his time at Auburn and what he's doing now. We'll read some of those comments coming up for you later.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We're still looking for problems this morning, and we're just not finding any. No wrecks, no stalls, no traffic signal headaches to report. That's some good news this morning. Watch out around the VBC. We get graduations again today. With more than 30 years' experience, D&L Refrigeration can save you money on those heating and air conditioning repairs. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond hanging out with you until what will be 9 a.m. on this beautiful Friday morning. And I say that because, well, it is beautiful outside. When the temperature hovers around 65 degrees in the morning and you got sunshine. Now, they're not expecting rain today in Hoover, I do not believe.
Hope not. Don't want to get rained on.
You are headed back down there to Hoover.
Yeah, gonna take in the Tide and Vanderbilt. Well, probably try to catch some of that first one, too.
Saying at 6 p.m. there's a 30% chance of rain.
Great.
But you know what that means, though?
What does that mean?
There's a 70% chance it does not rain.
I don't like any percentage. I would have rather you said like 5%.
I'm looking at it optimistically
because they haven't had any rain since Tuesday.
Yeah,
and they were optimistic they wouldn't have any. I mentioned when we went to break, Chris Lowe. Yeah.
And Chris Lowe does a fantastic job for ESPN covering college football.
Yeah, been on the show, yep.
And he
the drive.
trekked out to, I don't know if he trekked out there, if he picked up the phone or what, but he trekked out to Idaho via phone or via
he moved back out to Idaho?
Yeah, Brian Harsin. He tracked down former Auburn head coach Brian Harsin. And Brian Harsin did a one-on-one with Chris Lowe. And in the article, it does state that, and Brian Harsin said when he left Auburn, he and his wife, they sold their house in Auburn. He did not sell his house in Boise, Idaho when he moved to Auburn. He kept that house. And so he felt, they felt as soon as he was fired at Auburn, they sold his house at Auburn with furniture and everything. Somebody bought it as is. So they just packed up and moved back out to Boise, and that's where they are now. In the article, Brian Harsin says, and some of the quotes were, "I wasn't going to let it eat at me, no matter how blankety some things were that my family had to endure."
Oh, and some of it was garbage, I think.
Fill in the blankety there with a
I
bad
think it was the
word.
personal life stuff. I mean, I don't think that was true. Now, he didn't do a good job coaching on the field, did a terrible job recruiting, but the personal life stuff was, complete garbage.
He says there were things we didn't like. There were things that were disappointing on and off the field. There were things that I wish I would have done better. And there were things where we got a chance to see some of the worst in people. He says at the same time, here we are, we're thriving. He's back home in Boise. He's got $15.3 million to kind of sit back on and do nothing with. He did say, and I did not know, I don't know if you knew this or not, but during his interview, things were not good during his interview at Auburn.
Yeah.
It was a Zoom interview with him and the AD,
Alan Green.
Alan Green at the time, yeah. He says his interview at the school was conducted over Zoom. It had glitches. The screen went blank during the interview. He could not see anybody from Auburn, but they told him just to keep going, so he kept doing it. He said he walked out of his office after the interview. His wife asked him how it went, and he said, "I don't know. The screen went blank, and I couldn't even see them."
Oh, boy. Well, it'll just endear Alan Green to the Auburn family even more. You wonder why he doesn't have a job.
He says you learn in every situation the good and the bad, but when you really get tested, he says, as we were at Auburn, it's the same challenge for your players. Your true colors are going to show in how you handle it. Certainly there are things we could have done better. He did say that next time, his next job, and he doesn't know when that's going to be, he will do more investigating about like how things are done, how things are handled at certain schools, the influences, a.k.a. the boosters, how things are done from a distance.
Yellowwood.
Yeah, that he is going to basically ask more questions the next time around the next job that he gets, which he says he does not know when that's going to be.
Well, we'll see. I mean, as you said, he's got $15 million to just sort of chill out. His next job could be as an offensive analyst. Even by the fall, he could take an OC's job. Maybe even he looks to the NFL to be an off-the-field guy, maybe a quality control coach, and get a look at it from that perspective. He's known as an offensive-minded dude, a quarterback guy. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him going forward. To be honest, it was just a bad fit at Auburn. I felt bad for he and his family with the personal stuff. And I don't think it was true. Now, it was true with Coach 2 times, but it wasn't. I don't think it was true with what Brian Harsin and his family had to go through. Again, it was just a bad fit. He had some bad luck. If he had gotten 2 or 3 more wins, which he could have easily done in year 1, he would have had a lot more momentum going into year 2 and probably been able to get them to a bowl game and see a year 3. But when year 1 went so bad, where they lost 5 straight to end the season, and then you saw all that infighting and everything, it really hurt recruiting. I still think that's a big reason Bo Nix left, because of the environment around the program. You just didn't trust things, and so he decided to go to Oregon. That was a very bad sign. And then, when players don't know if the coach is going to be there or not, it's hard to get guys out of the portal. It's hard to recruit, and it just put Auburn, up against it. And he was almost set up to fail the second year. Now, he certainly didn't help himself with the recruiting, and he just didn't get a great feel for Auburn and the people around that program and allies you need to make. And relationships you need to build. And, again, that's why Hugh Freeze is off to a flying start. We'll see what the product looks like on the field. But he understands the Southeastern Conference. I don't think Brian Harsin did. He understands how to recruit. He understands how to relate to people. And so Hugh Freeze, should get off to a good start at Auburn. And Brian Harsin, I still think he'll resurface probably on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point in time, Washington State will get their head out of their ass maybe and be able to pay somebody and, pay their bills, or somebody from the Pac-12. However, whatever that conference turns into, maybe that's where Brian Harsin resurfaces.
Let's go out to the phone lines. Richard's with us real fast. Good morning, Richard.
Morning, guys. Drew, I think Alan Green's got some kind of job at Mississippi State, I believe. I'm just going from memory.
Yeah, I think he's somewhere,
he's not the AD, but he's something. And I'm thinking it's State for some reason.
Yeah, I need to check that and see where Zoom meeting is at now.
Well, on Hoover, people complain.
It's Ole Miss. Ole Miss. He's actually with the Lane train.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hang out with Lane Kiffin and good. So,
Senior Deputy Athletic Director.
Okay. At Hoover, they wouldn't stop the rain delay, but one thing you have in the Birmingham area, and it would be logistics and cost more money, you have 3 minor league parks.
Yeah.
Where you could, because you go to these high school tournaments where, you're playing 2 games at once at 2 different locations. It would be, one of the games would have to be on, SEC Network Plus, so you could play at Rickwood Field, one game. Go ahead and schedule one almost. Because one thing about it, trying to play 4 baseball games in one day, in a decent time. Because one thing about baseball, there's no time limit.
Yeah, that's true.
But you could, like I said, it would be logistics. You'd have 2 field crews. Another concession stand set up, but especially the day, play. But go ahead and schedule one game on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, at like middle of the afternoon. It kind of a different start time out. Say at Rickwood Field or something. Out, because like I said, trying to play 4 games even with perfect weather is almost impossible. Because what time did Auburn start the other night?
But both those games started around 8:45ish to 9 in the 9 o'clock hour.
But really, and the thing is with the SEC baseball tournament, it's really just 2 days, right? I mean, it's just it's really the Tuesday, Wednesday, and then possibly Thursday are the days.
That's the days where you play 4 games. Now you're done with that. Today's only 2. The first game starts at 3 o'clock. And then Alabama and Vanderbilt will be 30 minutes or 35 minutes or so after the conclusion. Now, if it goes extra innings, and we're talking about LSU and those guys, taking on A&M, then it could start at 8 or 9 o'clock. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just saying the days you play 4 games, I mean, it's almost impossible to get 4 in, and with a decent, especially the last game being at a decent time out. But like I said, it would be, it cost the SEC a lot more money to go ahead and schedule games, but that would, kind of alleviate, some of the problem. Would alleviate a rain delay. There's not much you could do about that. But, if it's extra innings or even a rain delay, you wouldn't be as far behind.
You wouldn't, but, I mean, people's heads would explode from the mid-'90s because Alabama won at 96, and it was true double elimination. Everybody had to lose twice.
Oh, boy.
And so they did lose, and they got to the finals against Florida, and they beat Florida twice in one day because they forced an extra game. So Wes Rucker, he would have had to have a sedative, man. I don't think he could have stood it.
Double elimination for everybody.
Yeah. Woo! Everybody had to lose. And then the year before that, in Jim Wells' first year, that was when they had, to me, this still don't make any sense. They had a Western Division tournament, Scott, and an Eastern Division tournament at different locations. So
when was that?
That was 95. Alabama won.
Did they play each other? Did the Western?
No, they just won the West and one won the East, and Alabama beat Mississippi State. And I want to say that was played in Starkville, yeah. And on a walk-off, like 9-8.
Well, you probably didn't have any time problems with that, though, because you had, at 2 different locations.
Yeah.
Trying to play the 4 games in one day.
But then, how the hell does the automatic bid work? That's what I wanted to know. I don't know. Like Barry Allen would have to tell us that because he was part of it back in those days.
That'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
No, that really would be.
Actually, if you probably just went to the SEC records, it would probably show.
Or maybe they just did it by regular season champion, Richard. That they could have done it that way.
Well, then that kind of defeats the purpose of having the tournament, though.
Well, unless it gives somebody a chance to pile up some dubs, I don't know.
I mean, kind of like Georgia, in basketball, the year they won the SEC, the year the tornado hit, the dome over, Georgia wasn't getting in the tournament in basketball, and they got in.
Saved Dennis Felton's job.
But I'm just saying, if you're not getting in baseball, you sure don't want it to account that way. There's no reason to go to the tournament.
True, very true. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, Richard.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we got to get a break. Got to get a break in. When we come back, look, I did look this up, and we're going to go over some of this. This SEC baseball tournament history thing is bizarre. I'm going to go over some of it. You thought this is bizarre. We'll fill you in next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the mid and upper 50s through the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. We're going to be a little cooler for Saturday afternoon. A partly sunny sky and isolated shower can't be ruled out through the heart of the afternoon. Otherwise, temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 70s, dropping into the low and mid 50s through the overnight, early Sunday morning. A partly sunny sky through Sunday afternoon. Temperatures definitely going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum, is only climbing into the lower 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We're looking good for the ride in. No wrecks, no stalls, no traffic signal problems to report. You be safe. Put extra room in there so you got somewhere to go if something does go wrong. Right now, though, the ride looks pretty good. No hose, no mask. You could ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
0% financing is happening right now at Woody Anderson Ford through Memorial Day weekend. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we've got financing as low as 0% APR for up to 36 months on 22 and 23 models of F-150, Explorer, Edge, and Escape. These are our best-selling Fords, and for a limited time, both 22 and 23 models have 0% financing, but it's only through Memorial Day weekend. Test drive a Woody Anderson Ford F-150, and you'll completely understand why it's the best-selling truck in America 46 years in a row. We've got a good selection of Explorers, Edges, and Escapes too, and some come with trade assist or bonus cash. But if you remember one thing, remember this. Woody Anderson Ford has 0% financing on 22 and 23 models of F-150, Explorer, Edge, and Escape through Memorial Day weekend only. Available with your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. These offers end May 31st. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's perfect!
There we go. Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you, hanging out on a Friday morning. And an entertaining Friday morning so far. Recap the little SEC baseball tournament. Talk some Brian Harsin and his comments to Chris Lowe in a recent ESPN article. But now we bring in our first guest of the morning. And for that, we're going to talk high school basketball. Coming up June 19th, we've got the 2023 Rocket City Awards. We're giving out the Billy Neighbors Lifetime Achievement Award. Not to give it away, but not going to give away a winner's name, but you may want to go because Hall of Fame head coach Ronnie Stapler has called it a career as far as coaching goes. His latest stop was Westminster Christian Academy, where he did win a state championship with the Wildcats and put his name there in the record books. But he's going to turn the reins over to someone that has been with Ronnie for some time.
No, this is a very familiar name. If you've grown up in Huntsville, you've been around the community. He was with Coach, really since he's been with him since his stops at Grissom, Gunnersville, no doubt about it, and even the Randolph Ladies, and now Westminster Christian Academy. Coach called him in the year 2000. After he played for him, he was at Grissom in 1993 as a point guard before going on to Auburn University. And he also, during his time in our city, established in 2007 a grassroots program called the Warriors, which is of course, an AAU program. But he's done an outstanding job basketball-wise, both in the summers and with Coach Ronnie Stapler. Coach announced his retirement on our show. It was a major deal for us certainly. He had a storied career, 53 years in coaching, winning over 800 ball games, winning 3 state championships. Ronnie Stapler did in his career. He played for 4, I believe, at Westminster. You talked about he won it all in 2016 there, and really in his decade that he just wrapped up at Westminster, they had never been a program except for one in the mid 90s. They had one run to Tuscaloosa where they made a serious run at a state championship, but they became a great program, and Coach always preached about being a program. And now our next guest is going to take that program over. It's in outstanding shape because of what Ronnie Stapler accomplished there in his 10 years, his decade at Westminster, and it's Kendrick Epps, and he's going to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, welcome. You're talking with Drew and Scott. How are you this morning?
Man, I'm doing better than I deserve to be. It's good to be here. I appreciate you guys. Good to hear from you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. Jimmy Lay kept us in the loop about what was going on, and that they were about to, decide what direction to go with when Coach decided to step away and watch his grandkids. And certainly, you've been a part of that program for the decade he's been there. You guys have been amazingly consistent. Once again, reaching the 4A state championship game, and falling to a really good Jacksonville team. But talk about the opportunity you've been given, because this is a really good job here, a really good culture that you've been a part of building.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, just always giving honor to my Lord and Savior, man. I'm so excited. I'm humbled, number one. Coach Stapler has been a major figure and still a major figure in my life today, a father figure for me, not just a basketball coach. And it's been an incredible run. I'm blessed to be able to be involved in such an incredible program because of the foundation that he laid for us all. And just to be mentored and tutored by a gentleman, I'm more than prepared. I'm excited. I was just telling Bailey when he called me a little while ago that I've been up since 4 o'clock. I hit the ground running every single day. And I'm just excited, man. Excited to be able to just give back more to the kids, more to the community, and just continue to just build upon what's already been created.
Yeah, this has been a work in progress for you, learning from Coach for so many years. How do you go out there now and try to be you and not try to coach like Coach Stapler?
It's funny you say that, but that's all I know. It may be a different sounding voice from the sidelines, but as far as just the baseline things, the bottom line foundational things that he's taught me about life, about basketball, those will be the same things that I instill. Obviously, with a career like he is, a gentleman like he is, such an upstanding gentleman like himself, you can't really fill those shoes. So he taught us a long time ago as coaches to just always be ourselves. He taught us what was most important, taught us that the program is always bigger than everything else, but he also always taught us to be ourselves. One thing I loved about him is being an assistant with him. He always just let me be me. He trusted me enough to allow me to just implement the things that he had taught me, and he always allowed me to be myself, and so that's what I'll be. Wouldn't dare try to be him because there will only ever be one Ronnie Stapler. But the good Lord has blessed me to be able to learn from him and mentor from him and be able to take the things that he gave me and just continue to flourish on and off the court.
Yeah, we're talking to Kendrick Epps. He's taking over at Westminster Christian Academy, and they got a big summer coming up because in just a little bit over a week, June will be here, and you'll be able to work with your squad. I know you've kind of hit the ground running here, Coach. Have you got the summer schedule set up? How are you going to approach this and kind of get some run in for your team and then build your team? I know also around this time is tryouts. Has Westminster, had those yet? How is the process working?
Absolutely. We just kind of roll from where we are into where we're going. Not necessarily tryouts. We give every kid an opportunity. But with us being such a smaller school, we just have to take the numbers we're given and do a lot of player development. Really, for me, the biggest thing out the gate is just to create a culture. And not that the culture was bad, but my goal is to create my own personal culture for the kids and the environment June is going to be a super busy month. We got some high-level kids in Chase McCarty and Caden Rickard. Isaiah Cleaves is an up-and-coming kid that has an opportunity to really do some big things. So we got to approach it basically like we're preparing for the last dance. That's what I've been telling everybody because it's so big. It's so big to be able to put these kids on the proper stage and put them in the proper places to be able to get what's due for them. So the HSAA has a big-time recruiting event, live weekend in June the 16th, 17th, and Hoover will be there. Coach Swears, who does an incredible job with his program, will be taking part in some play there. Coach Crutcher out at Hazel Green will be there. We'll be in Coleman. They let us go loose in June, so we try to get in all we can. June is a big month for us in the state of Alabama when it comes to basketball. So we already live in the gym, but I told my wife I'm going to get a blow-up mattress, and I'll probably be there all night some nights in the month of June. But the Bible says to whom much is given, much is required. And so I'm ready. It's been given to me, and I know what it's going to take to continue the legacy that Coach Staples has created. I'm ready. I'm all for it. I'm ready.
Yeah, personally, do you feel like a little kid in a candy store right now where, I mean, it's still moving so fast? You're a head coach now, not an assistant anymore. You are a head coach.
I tell you what, it's funny you say that. I've been up every night. I think my family has seen a drastic shift in just my behavior over the last week or so because outside of what's necessary from an X and O standpoint, it's so much clerical work, so many phone calls. Just so many moving parts that you have to be a part of. You have to put your stamp on. And but once again, to whom much is given, much is required. And so I'm prepared. I've been prepared for a long time. Coach Stapler has always taken steps to make sure that he prepares us for what's to come. And so just being able to be a disciple and watch him for so long, I kind of understood what came with the territory. So now it's just up to me to continue to elevate the standards that have already been set.
Well, we know this. We know man-to-man defense is going to be at the core of what you do because being that you put the uniform on for him at Grissom and you played for him and coached for him so many years, we know that being able to guard is at first and foremost, and then sharing the ball offensively. I know he did from when I was growing up. I mean, he was a motion guy. Now he's changed a little bit of that, but just kind of talk about the core guarding defensively. I know is something you're going to build, going to continue the backbone of the program.
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, I don't know if you ever been to our campus, but it's a Publix right across the street. Just know when you're on the way, we'll be picking you up at Publix. That's how serious it's going to be. And I mean, one thing about me, when I was a player for Coach Staples, I probably averaged about 3 or 4 points a game, but I played over 20 minutes a night because I always had the duty to guard the best players on the other team, perimeter players most night. And I just understood that was one thing that he instilled in us because every single night the ball doesn't go in the hole. I mean, some nights you can take the best players, you watch the NBA, college basketball, whatever. Some nights the ball just doesn't go in the hole. But one thing he instilled in us over 30 years ago, defense always travels. And so that'll be the same. I mean, if you come and watch us play, it'll be the exact same thing. I've always been a defensive-minded guy. And that's what I've always instilled into every team that I've ever coached because I truly understand if you can defend, you can play. Offensively, we'll be a motion offense-type team. One thing Coach Stapler taught us as players and coaches is basically how to respond and how to react in the face of adversity when it comes to defenses. You know, we'll always have things that we can draw up and execute under pressure that'll get us buckets here and there, but for the most part, he taught us how to read and react. If the D does this, this is what you do. If they're in this D, this is what we do. And so that way it always allowed us as players and coaches to be able to be a little bit more free and play with a little bit more confidence because we knew we would always be prepared to attack whatever we saw. So it'll be the same philosophies. You won't see much of a difference outside of me wearing a bow tie on the sidelines. It'll be intense. It'll be intense. Like I said, we picking up as soon as you cross the street from the school. We'll be waiting for you at the bus to defend you. And every single night, that's what you'll see regardless of where we play.
Well, we look forward to it, Coach. And this is Kendrick Epps, new head coach at Westminster Christian Academy. I'll be, definitely on the scene in June around the various stops. I'll be with Huntsville High, but I'll also be out at Supreme Court some as well. Look forward to seeing a lot of action. I love the month of June now, getting to see so many teams play. Look forward to seeing you guys over at Westminster, and we look forward to seeing Chase McCarty and of course, Cade and all those guys. But congratulations, Coach. I know you've worked for this opportunity, and have a great Memorial Day weekend. We look forward to seeing you soon.
You guys too. I appreciate it. You guys do an incredible job. I appreciate you guys having me here. Look forward to being back.
Thank you, sir. Coach Epps now, head coach Epps, joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Let's get a break in. Going to wrap up hour one next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We're still all clear this morning. Traffic level heavy, but we don't have any wrecks or stalls or traffic signal problems to report. You be careful on your ride in. Put extra room in there so you got somewhere to go if something goes wrong. Snelling has direct hire positions for an experienced payroll accountant and a staff accountant. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. The Atlanta Braves last night taking on the Philadelphia Phillies.
Dylan Dodd for the Braves, and on the bump, the Aaron Nola, the former LSU Tiger, that always seems to give the Braves problems.
But the Braves get a win last night, 8-5. They get
Ozuna with
hits.
another home run.
They did well. The Atlanta Braves did well. So much so, hey, Austin Riley
went off.
Has done something that not even Hank Chipper or Freddie has done in their first 500 games.
Yep.
His first of 2 tape measure homers Thursday night against Aaron Nola, as you mentioned, was a 2-run shot in the first inning to give him 301 career RBIs in exactly 500 games.
Nice.
He's the 4th player in Braves history to have at least 500 hits, 100 home runs, 300 RBIs in his first 500 or fewer games with the Braves. He joins Fred McGriff, the crime dog.
The future Hall of Famer, finally.
With 412. Bob Horner at 429 games. And Eddie Matthews at 456 games.
Pretty good names right there. And never forget the crime dog when he made his debut in 95 for the Braves, when he was the final piece and then winning the World Series, and the press box caught on fire at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Moulton can tell us about that day. He's not on the phone right now, but he can. I'll never forget that. I was like, "Are you serious? It's actually on fire." So it was.
Well, speaking of Tokyo, you filled in for him yesterday at the Furniture Factory. Food update.
Oh, it was good. I ended up. I did not get the Mexican pasta, though. We did bring
that
up.
That stuff will light you on fire.
Oh
sometimes.
no, like Wes said, he said, we're talking about Wes neighbors here who can eat with anyone. He was talking. We were both bragging on the Mexican pasta, how it's the best pasta dish probably in Huntsville. And he said, "Yeah, they give you so much, you have to take some home." I said, "Unless you're Scott Tyson and you finish it in 15 minutes." Now I said,
I did one time.
Yeah, but one time. Now I did. I had it a few weeks ago, and I took it home, and I finished it in one sitting. But I had the Reuben last night though with fries. It was outstanding. So it was really was, and it was. I mean, it was bike night over there, and and we had Jen on, and she was talking about how she thought it would be a slow weekend because of Memorial Day. But I'm going to tell you what, it was jumping over there. They had live music. There was people all over the place. We know Huntsville High had their graduating class last night, so there was a couple, I think, schools that did their ceremonies. And because trust me, I forgot about it and tried to go downtown. And
that's a no-no.
That's
a no-no.
I was trying to, take the downtown route to the Furniture Factory, and that was stupid. I should have gone another way. And I was like, oh Lord. And they had the traffic lights on like a half a second. I mean, it was brutal. But finally got over there about 10 minutes before the show. And congratulations to all those folks that graduated, too. And they're going to have Grissom tonight. And I think
that VBC's a hopping joint for like 2 weeks.
Trust me, it's in our traffic report. I mean, you better, if you're going downtown, it'll be a whole hell of a lot easier just to walk than it will to try to drive. Unless you want to cuss a lot, and I certainly did.
All right, coming up in hour 2, hey, we're going to reminisce about the SEC baseball tournament. Boy, the SEC did
some crazy stuff in the 90s,
yeah,
man.
They did some strange things.
They played it in the dome? Oh, my Lord, we should tell Wes Rucker that. He was 5, though, right?
I don't know. But we also go over the biggest transfer portal teams in college football. How many did the biggest ones bring in, actually? We'll fill you in next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Juice Reel, the betting intelligence tool that's making better bettors. Open the App Store and get your hands on Juice Reel. Start betting smarter. Juice, R-E-E-L. Juice Reel.
Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert. NHL West final, the Stars beat the Golden Knights 3-2 in overtime to extend the series. Vegas now leads at 3-1. Joe Pavelski scored the game winner 3:18 into overtime. They head back to Vegas on Saturday night. The Golden Knights a -140 favorite, Dallas at +120. Vegas the +100 favorite to win the Stanley Cup, Florida +110. NBA Eastern Conference final, the Celtics survived again, beating the Heat 110-97 in Boston in Game 5. They head back to Miami with the Heat leading the series 3-2. Derek White had 24 points, including 6 3-pointers. Boston was an 8.5-point favorite at home, -320 on the money line. They covered by 4.5.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you. And hour one, we talked about the SEC baseball tournament. We gave you the reactions. We broke down everything that happened yesterday in the tournament. Just so you know, for today, it's 10th seed Texas A&M, 3rd seed LSU at 3, and then 9th seed Alabama, 4th seed Vanderbilt after that game. 97.7 ESPN The Zone will ride you home all the way through all of that. But we started looking and we started going over the SEC baseball tournament history, and this is some wacky and wild and crazy stuff.
Well, and we know Bandy now. Bandy knows Wes Rucker. He's had him on the Afternoon Blitz. He needs to send this segment to Rucker
Wes
and let him know that it actually has been indoors, the SEC tournament.
So from 77 to 86, the tournament consisted of 4 out of the 10 teams. There's only 10 teams at the time in the SEC. They did a double elimination bracket. The top 2 teams qualified, and the winner was declared, okay? From 77 to 85, the tournament alternated sites between the winners of the West on odd number years and the East on even number years.
No, now wait a minute. So there wasn't separate division tournaments. It was just one tournament.
But it alternated sites on the odd number years, it would be at the winner of the West.
Yeah.
The even number years, it would be at the winners of the East. Now, during those seasons, Florida hosted the tournament in even number year. Mississippi State hosted it every odd number year except 85 when LSU
really gave a damn back in.
Yeah. So then in 86, the SEC eliminated division play, adopting full round robin.
Yeah.
So from 87 to 91, the tournament expanded to 6 teams, where the remaining double elimination tournament, beginning with the 88 season, the winner was no longer considered the conference overall champion, although the winner continued to receive the conference's automatic bid to the tournament.
My head hurts, man.
The SEC was kooky at the time.
Oh.
Okay, in 1990, the conference did not accept an automatic bid after lightning and heavy rain disrupted the tournament's championship game. Co-champions were declared. The teams in the canceled championship game, LSU and Mississippi State, had already received bids to the tournament by being selected as regional hosts before the SEC tournament. So the NCAA handed out the regional bids host before the SEC tournament back in the 90s. Think about that.
Far. I mean, and the funny thing is, you're just talking about that 90 season. I think the Georgia Bulldogs won the national championship that year, and hell, they didn't even win the tournament of the regular season.
Now, in 1992, this is where we were talking about everything. The Superdome in New Orleans hosted the 1992 SEC baseball tournament.
Wes Rucker, listen to this.
The addition of Arkansas and South Carolina made it an 8 out of 12 team tournament. It was a double elimination tournament. The top 4 teams in each division qualified. The tournament followed a format that included reseeding the teams once only 4 were still active. Once only 4 got to the final one. Once we got to the Final Four, the SEC reseeded the tournament in '92.
Yeah.
Boy, they were kooky.
Yeah.
Then this is where it gets.
This is where it gets wild.
This is where it gets strange.
This is what we were talking about. I was
from
right about this.
93 to 95, the SEC baseball tournament held separate tournaments for the Eastern and Western divisions in 93, 94, and 95. The tournament games counted in league standings. Then the team with the best winning percentage at the end of each tournament, covering 24 regular season SEC games plus tournament games, they were crowned the league champion. Now, each division tournament consisted of all 6 teams in the division. The SEC devised the plan in hopes of gaining 2, not 1, but 2 automatic NCAA tournament berths for the tournament champions. However, the NCAA rejected the SEC plan, instead awarding 1 to the division tournament champion with the highest overall winning percentage.
Say that twice without.
The SEC has experimented with this SEC
crossed.
baseball tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's now a completely different type of event. It's not, I think, as I told you, in '96, Alabama had to come back and they lost earlier in the tournament and got to the finals against Florida, and it was true double elimination for everybody. So the Gators, if they had beaten Alabama in the first game, they would have won it, but they lost, and so Alabama had to come back in the same day and beat Florida twice, which they did to win it in Hoover. So, again, that's just one of those things where it used to be a true double elimination tournament.
Yeah,
now it's just double elimination on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday. Well, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and with where Tuesday and Saturday, and even, of course, the championship game on Sunday is just a one-shot deal.
From 98 to 2007, they adopted the Omaha bracket format.
Yeah.
What we see in the College World Series.
Yeah.
From 98 to 2007, that was it. They adopted that format to where it's set up exactly like Omaha. And then from 2008 to 2011, they adopted a flipped bracket on a trial basis.
Yeah, because I was looking for the flip. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, aren't they going to flip the brackets? Because I do remember when they used to do that. When you'd get to a certain point, like for I guess it was the semifinals, they would flip the bracket over, but now they're not.
And then in 2012, remember the tournament began on Tuesday and concluded on Sunday. They did that on Sunday. And then in 2013, we began the present format, which saw the field expand to 12 teams. And then this is what we get now. So in 2013 is when they expanded it.
I'll be interested to see now with Texas and Oklahoma coming, if they just stick with the 12 and eliminate 4, or are you going to have 14? Because guys like Rucker may end up really having a nervous breakdown if they change it again. Personally, I would just probably eliminate 4 of them and still stick with the 12.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because I think it's a good format. But we'll see. I mean, you could allow a couple more teams in. I certainly don't think they'll allow all 16. I mean, anything's possible. It would just expand the first day where teams would be eliminated. The losers would all be done. But I would probably kind of keep what we got going on because, again, you have to factor in weather. And I think that's too – that you also have to give these teams a chance to reset themselves before regional play. And I think that's why they did away with the double elimination on the weekend as far as the semifinals and the finals. Yeah, because you just don't have enough pitching to end up throwing. And then, again, you don't want to – you can do it in Omaha. But you don't want to come back and throw a guy twice. And, I mean, what I mean is a starter. Like have a guy start on Tuesday, and if you get to Sunday, start again. Unless the only way you do that is if it's Texas A&M, which really they don't need it, though. They're going to get in. Unless you had a Cinderella story where you had a team coming in that basically had to win the tournament to get into the NCAAs.
Right.
But in most cases with the SEC, like we said, all the teams left. The top 10 seed seeded teams, and A&M is the 10 seed. Hell, Alabama's the 9. All these teams are getting in. I just think right now the only question is how many hosts. I don't think Tennessee is going to host. Of course A&M is not, and we'll see with South Kakalaki after they got beat yesterday 5-0.
So 93, 94, and 95. That's when we did they had the split division champions.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of going through this, and it's just blasting from the past. Those 3 years, Tennessee played in all 3 of those years and won all 3 of those years.
Yeah, Rod Delmonico had it rolling.
Todd Helton was the MVP of the Eastern side.
Hey, we're not quoting Goodfellas in that case. Todd Helton was just damn good. He's still probably the greatest Tennessee baseball player of all time. Okay, and he also backed up Peyton Manning at quarterback. But
that's right, he did.
But Todd Helton was a hell of a player. He should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, in my opinion. He's probably still the greatest Rockies player of all time. And what people probably don't know, especially the younger generation here, I got a chance to watch Todd Helton in college. He was a hell of a pitcher.
Really?
He was also one of their weekend starters. He was a hell of a baseball player. I mean, this dude could rake, he could pitch, he could do anything, and he was a Gold Glove first baseman. This dude, he was a dude, man. And the funny thing is, his brother played linebacker at Alabama, so that kind of pissed me off because I was hoping he played for Alabama instead of the Vomits.
I'm going to test your knowledge here. 1995, Alabama was the Western champion. Do you know who the MVP was for Alabama in 95 in that tournament?
Okay, I may get this right. I'm hoping I do. Chris Moeller.
No.
Dang it.
Rusty Laughlin.
Dang. I was just because Chris Moeller was from Lee here in town.
Okay.
And went to Calhoun.
Okay. Yeah.
And then was on that team in 96. And hit a walk-off home run against Oklahoma State to win in the first round at dead center. I thought Moeller might have been, so it was Rusty Laughlin.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Anyway, 256-576-4977. Just stumbled upon those notes, and I just thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, and LSU, by the way, in 92 won it in the Superdome.
Well, shocked.
1 year that it was played in a dome.
Skip was getting it rolling, man. He'd won the national championship. Andy Sheets,
MVP that year.
There you go, future major leaguer. I mean, Skip won his first national championship in '91, so LSU had gotten it rolling. Remember, Skip won 5 in 10 years. I mean, he had an amazing run at LSU.
Just kind of going over some of these MVPs, and you're looking at it, and you're just like, wow. A lot of these guys. 2007, Pedro Alvarez from Vanderbilt.
Yep.
I'm looking over some of the names that I'm just seeing from the past, and it's just like, wow, this was pretty impressive, and that's why the SEC tournament is the best and where it is. All right, I tell you what, let's get a break in. When we come back, we will talk some more college football. Biggest people in the transfer portal, biggest teams. Who do you think led the way with the most guys out of the transfer portal, getting guys out of the transfer portal in college football? And where did Auburn fall in all of this? We'll explain.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
At Bryant Bank, we recognize your time is valuable, and easy, secure access to your finances is essential. That's why we provide the financial tools you need to manage your money on the go and make life a bit easier. At Bryant Bank, we're here to help with instant debit cards, Apple Pay, person-to-person payments, and more. Bryant bankers want to show you how beneficial our digital banking services can be. Learn more at bryantbank.com. Bryant Bank. Live legendary. Member FDIC.
Got a report of rocks in the roadway on Winchester at County Lake. They're sending a deputy there for traffic control. Other than that, we are problem-free this morning. It hasn't been a bad Friday morning. We do have a lot of folks, though, in last-minute dash mode trying to get in on time. Expert heart care backed by advanced technology. When you need cardiac care, you need the heart doctor. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental also specializes in day and weekend rentals to homeowners? The weekend rentals is by far the best deal that they offer. If you pick up after 2 on a Friday or anytime Saturday morning, it's not due in until Monday morning before 8 a.m. for a one-day charge. For a small fee, Valley can even haul anything they carry. Valley has extremely experienced and knowledgeable staff that can help you decide what size machine you need or what type of machine you need to get your job done like a pro. They have all the big items that the contractors need for their jobs, but they also carry the small tools that can help you with your DIY project. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and ask for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Is I had a few too many happening too often? Does I'm stopping at 2 drinks become more like 4 or 5? You're not alone. 1 in 7 people struggle with alcohol. Bradford can help. For over 40 years, Bradford's affordable rehab programs have helped people overcome addiction and return to healthy, productive lives. Call 888-SOBER-40 for confidential help 24/7. Start your comeback with Bradford. Call 888-SOBER-40 or visit bradfordhealth.com.
Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. And coming up later next week, you're going to get the SEC spring meetings in Destin. And Brandon Marcello putting this out just a little bit ago. That obviously one of the biggest topics. We know one of the biggest topics is going to be the SEC schedules. What will happen to the SEC schedules? Are we going to play 8 games? Are we going to play 9 games? Will we get an answer in Destin? Well, Brandon Marcello just reporting a short time ago that Alabama is on the verge of a surprising endorsement for 8 games when it comes to the conference schedule. After Nick Saban has voiced his frustration with the SEC's 3 proposed permanent rivals for Alabama, Auburn, LSU, and Tennessee, should the league expand to 9 games. Marcello also pointing out that Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and South Carolina oppose a 9-game model. So there we go. Those are some nuggets heading into the SEC spring meetings next week.
Going to be interesting. I've always thought they'd go to 9 games with this expanded league, so we'll see what ultimately happens. I know they leak out info and to garner interest. So ultimately, when these conversations are had and they decide the scheduling model and how they're going to handle it when Oklahoma and Texas get to the SEC, is going to be very, very interesting. And don't forget, Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton will be there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday live in Destin.
We need to go one year. We'll make that happen. I just want to go for the beach. I don't care about the meetings.
Here we go.
I just want the seafood.
I was going to say and the
food. I mean, come on now. All right, so transfer portal. It's been very, very busy, and it's died down now. It's not as busy as what it has been, but these are the teams in college football that have pulled the most guys out of the transfer portal. Obviously, number one on the list is Colorado and Deion Sanders. Do you take a guess on how many guys Deion Sanders has on incoming transfers to Colorado this year?
I'd say over 40.
48.
Wow, almost 50. That's 2/3 of your roster.
So number 2 on this list is Arizona State.
Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, has brought in
Jaden Rashada
is one of them.
Yeah, how many tamales is he getting?
29 incoming transfers for Arizona State, number 2 in college football. Number 3, we have a tie. SMU and Texas State both have brought in 25 incoming transfers. You go down to number 5, got a tie for number 5. Indiana and Louisville have brought in 25 incoming transfers this season for college football. Number 7, we have a tie. Ole Miss and Auburn.
Uh-oh.
Both have brought in 21 transfers for the college football season.
I mean, I would have thought Auburn might even be higher than that with all the guys they brought in under Hugh Freeze, but going to be, like I said, this is the portal era, and a lot of those schools you just mentioned have new coaches. And
Yep. You look at them, Colorado, new coach.
Yep.
In Deion Sanders. Arizona State, new coach. SMU, by the way, you know who the coach is there at SMU?
Oh, yeah. Former Auburn offensive coordinator.
Rhett Lashley. He's not new, though. Texas State is not a new coach. Indiana is not a new coach, but Indiana was awful last year. Louisville is a new coach. Auburn is a new coach. And UMass is under Don Brown is second-year coach. So there you go. One other thing that I did see and that I was going to mention, I got to find it here. And it had to do with Mel Tucker.
Yeah.
Because
Michigan State, they've lost a ton of dudes.
They have lost a ton of dudes.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I was looking at this, and obviously Mel Tucker has he cashed in on 1 year.
Yeah, and I don't know. We'll see if that ends up being an albatross. I mean, I wish Mel luck, but he hasn't come close to replicating that success.
His buyout as of December 1st of 2022, this is 1 year, less than a year ago. You know what his buyout was then?
Probably $40 million.
Double that. $86.8 million was his buyout as of December.
In other words, Dirt Neck the sequel. I mean, as far as a buyout goes. I was almost stuttering like Mel Tillis. I was like, what?
$86 million.
86. Way to go, Mel, and your agent. And it's probably Jimmy. That's all I'm saying. Getting paid.
But what does that mean? I mean,
that's like a 10% of what Harsin got. You know, Harsin got peanuts compared to what Mel Tucker would be getting. Man.
We talk about Jimbo Fisher not producing and getting paid a crap ton of money in the SEC for mediocrity.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't even know. I don't even call what he did last year mediocrity. I call it incompetence. I mean, I think they went 5-7 or something like that. They didn't even go to a bowl game. I mean, come on, man. And then if you want to get technical, because he thought Wake Forest would whip his ass, they decided to bow out of the bowl game the year before.
His buyout as of December 1st of 2022 was 86.7 was Jimbo's.
Well, we got somebody on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline that just finished a swimming pool. You were talking about the beach and the food and all that kind of stuff. I wonder what kind of feast he's going to be grilling out. I'm sure he's going to have some barbecue, considering he's a barbecue aficionado. We're welcoming Brandon into the conversation. Happy Memorial Day weekend, Brandon. How are you?
Man, I hadn't gotten the pool finished yet. We got the deck.
Well, at least you got the biggest part of it done, right? Sort of.
You got the biggest. Oh well, you would say it looks like the biggest part. 37 yards of concrete. It's a big bill, I promise that. That's one of those things where you write that one and you go inside and your wife's like, "Hey, can we go get something to eat?" And I'm like, "We got a loaf of bread in here that we could eat."
Yeah, no doubt.
You can do a lot with a loaf of bread.
They used to in the SEC for baseball.
By listening to Drew talking about and Scott talking about reshuffling in the Final Four and $80 million, and Dave here in the truck was like, "Are they talking about the Democratic National Committee?" He's like, "Are they going to talk about Bernie Sanders next?" And I said, "God, I said you and Drew would be two of a kind."
Yeah, if you say Democrats, you just want to stick your head in the toilet.
So I got the Czar hooked up.
Yeah.
Monday, August the 14th, to come to Braves and Yankees.
Uh-oh.
If all goes well, depending on a lawyer friend of mine, he says he don't think he's going to be able to make it that game, then it might be 4 more, and we'll see what we can do about getting the morning show, and some of the rest of y'all might be able to come. You won't be sitting with him. It'll be 2 different sets of seats, but I might be able to get y'all here.
Why, hell, it'd be way early. I mean, unless they're playing an afternoon game. What time is that game, Brandon?
7 o'clock.
Oh,
No,
Lord.
we're doing it. We're taking Tokyo in 30 minutes, and we'll be fine.
Well, maybe if they'll open the restaurants for us in the Battery of Atlanta, we'll be fine. They got a Waffle House over there.
24 hours.
I think the place where y'all would be sitting would be food included.
Oh,
see, there we go. I'm in.
Oh, if it's food included, Scott's all over that.
I'm in on that.
I got somebody that lives in my cousin lives in Peachtree City. I'm good.
We're driving back after the game. We're doing this. We're doing
Wait a minute. I mean, the game's at 7. It'll be over with at friggin' 11 o'clock.
Yep, we're back in here. We're rolling.
We're doing a best of the next morning.
No, we're not. We're walking into the same clothes. We're doing the show.
No, we're not.
We're doing it college style, baby.
Hell no, we're not.
Y'all need to get a room. Grab y'all a room up there at the Omni and just show up early that day on Monday, battery it up for a little while, and then
I wish that was a Friday. That would have been a perfect weekend, though.
We can get a room and put it on the Underhills bill.
Oh, boy.
Have a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich to go with it. Brandon. Hey, what date is that again?
August the 14th.
All right, we'll put that in the calendar, possibly.
Czar said he's going to do his show at the Battery that Monday.
Well, if the Braves whip their ass, he ought to have to wear a Braves jersey after what he put me through.
We could do our show that morning. We could wake up and do our show that morning there. All right, Brandon. Thanks for the phone call, bud.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got to – I'm all in on that. August 14th, Braves game, food.
I'm all in for recording the Recruiting Blitz early and then taking a best of the next day.
I'm doing the Trash Pandas game on Sunday.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Trash Pandas game on Sunday.
Oh, I thought you were doing the broadcast. I thought, oh Lord,
oh man,
woo! Out.
No, we're staying away from that.
So what's the promotion, man? What are you
promotion?
Getting free?
Thank you so much for making me sound. I am going.
I figured maybe you were getting some food or something.
I am. Thanks to our good friends at SportsMed.
Oh, okay. That's what it is.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Experience the SportsMed difference. 256-881-5151.
That up for you.
Experience the SportsMed difference. Yes, I am going. Thanks to our good friends at SportsMed. My family's coming to town, and we are going to enjoy the game. But yes, I will be partaking in some baseball. All right, we got to get a break in. Eddie Jakes going to join us from Athletic Club
Hall
Alabama.
of Famer Eddie Jakes.
One of the best tennis players I know. Probably the best tennis player I know.
Ever in the history of Huntsville.
Yeah, he's going to join us coming
Even if he did go to Georgia.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the mid and upper 50s through the overnight early into your Saturday morning. We're going to be a little cooler for Saturday afternoon. A partly sunny sky and isolated shower can't be ruled out through the heart of the afternoon. Otherwise, temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 70s, dropping into the low and mid 50s through the overnight early Sunday morning. A partly sunny sky through Sunday afternoon. Temperatures definitely going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum, is only climbing into the lower 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It has been an excellent Friday morning. I don't think we've had a wreck anywhere quickly because we got a lot of folks in last-minute dash mode, so you be careful as you make the rest of that trip in. We did have a report of rocks in the roadway on Winchester around County Lake. They sent a deputy to check on that one. Popeye's Shrimp Tackle Box has 8 crispy Louisiana seasoned butterfly shrimp with a signature side and a buttermilk biscuit, only $6. Popeye's University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Make this the summer you finally get your own backyard pool from Superior Pool Construction. Family owned and operated, our team can have you swimming and splashing in no time. And now is the time to choose your custom fiberglass pool. Superior Pool Construction has a few spots still open for quick installation this summer. 80 different pools to choose from and 12 in beautiful Diamond Tech colors. All come with a 50-year manufacturer's structural warranty. Call Superior Pool Construction now. 256-284-5953. 284-5953. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
0% financing is happening right now at Woody Anderson Ford through Memorial Day weekend. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we've got financing as low as 0% APR for up to 36 months on 22 and 23 models of F-150, Explorer, Edge, and Escape. These are our best-selling Fords, and for a limited time, both 22 and 23 models have 0% financing, but it's only through Memorial Day weekend. Test drive a Woody Anderson Ford F-150, and you'll completely understand why it's the best-selling truck in America 46 years in a row. We've got a good selection of Explorers, Edges, and Escapes too, and some come with trade assist or bonus cash. But if you remember one thing, remember this. Woody Anderson Ford has 0% financing on 22 and 23 models of F-150, Explorer, Edge, and Escape through Memorial Day weekend only. Available with your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. These offers end May 31st. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, hanging out on a Friday morning. Last weekend, it was very impressive. Last weekend in the city of Huntsville, or I should say in Madison County, there were three things going on. You had Huntsville FC playing at Joe Davis, Wicks Family Field. Yeah, Trash Pandas had 6,000. There was a concert, and there was like 6,000. I mean, there was so much to do. This weekend, it's setting up like that again because the Trash Pandas are at home. The Huntsville FC is at home. You have the you have the World Paralympic Cycling event. It's the first time ever it's been held on U.S. soil. That's going on over at Research Park. But there's also a $15,000 purse tennis tournament, the Southern Open, going on over at the Athletic Club of Alabama. I mean, there's a lot of stuff for you to take in if you want to.
Well, I mean, you can argue strongly that Huntsville is not just the soccer hub of the state, and that's another reason why Huntsville FC is here. But you can also argue that it's the tennis hub. And one of the reasons it is because of our next guest, who is in the Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame. I think he's the greatest tennis player, or one of the top 2 or 3 that's ever come out of the city of Huntsville. He was an SEC champion at Georgia. He's a professional, and he's a huge part of the tennis culture here, and that's Eddie Jakes. And Eddie Jakes is with us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Eddie, Good morning.
How we doing, guys?
We're doing great, brother.
Busy week for you.
Say that again, Scott?
Yeah, busy weekend for you, man.
Oh yeah. No, it's been a busy week. We started basically last Saturday, Sunday, and we run through the finals on Sunday this weekend.
Yeah, talk about the event. Let people kind of know. I mean, this is a pro circuit tennis event.
Yeah. So first, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
A little while. Yeah. So we have a $15,000 total purse for the men and for the women. So we've got both divisions here in town. It's a professional event where they're earning money, and they're also earning ATP points and WTA ranking points to be able to kind of increase their world ranking to eventually get to a higher level events and eventually to the U.S. Open, Wimbledon, etc. It's been we've got anywhere from people that are 400 in the world to even unranked, but 400 in the world, 500 in the world, former college players, just former even higher level tour players that have maybe the ranking has dropped a little bit. But it's been a great week so far. It's really cool. I mean, it's the first time that professional tennis at this level has been in Huntsville, Madison area in over 25 years. So
wow.
We're super happy to kind of bring it back. And it's been an exciting week. We're down, getting close to the end, so it's not as chaotic in regards to the tournament. But we're also adding in quite a bit of community development things throughout the week, which has been nice. We're actually doing a wheelchair exhibition today, where two of the star kind of wheelchair tennis players around the South are actually coming in, and they're teaming up with actually it's pretty cool that 2 of our local junior/college players were able to play in the event, and they're teaming up with 2 of them, and we're doing a little exhibition, kind of mixed double style with 2 pros and 2 wheelchair tennis players.
Well, and Eddie, we've got a caller. We just talked to him, Brandon, who's a big advocate of adaptive athletics, and we know the University of Alabama's poured a ton of resources into that, and they just won, I think, their 7th of the last 8 tennis national championship on the men's side, at least, I believe.
Yes, Alabama has done an amazing job. We're kind of with the staff of Alabama Tennis and just also the University of Alabama. The adaptive tennis program kind of that's rolled through Tuscaloosa has been incredible. And we've got one of the star players actually from the state of Alabama that is worldwide, for his age group is incredible. So he one of those players is actually coming today and going to team up with Alana Boyce, one of our local girls who just signed with Auburn.
Nice.
So it's really cool also that this is a world event, but we're also capitalizing on local and even, Alabama and Auburn and things like that, something that, thrives in the state of Alabama. So this is an international event, but we're also capitalizing on some of the kids and colleges, around our state, which is super cool.
And you mentioned Alana Boyce, but she was one of several local on the boys and girls side that tried to and played in some qualifiers to get into the draw for this tournament.
Yeah, so we had, Nicholas Hang, who's from Madison. He actually redshirted this year at Auburn, and he actually got into the main draw, actually won his first-round match, so he actually earned his first ATP point, so he will have a world ranking.
Oh, wow.
Which is super cool. He actually also teamed up with another junior, not from Huntsville, but actually is going to Kentucky. So we like to keep it in the SEC, boys. I mean, we're down here, and everything does revolve around football. But, as this week is gone, I'm like, next year, if we're fortunate enough to bring this thing back, and that's a long story, but if we're fortunate enough, man, I want to have a college night. There's so many different colleges around the South that have been represented here, which is super cool. And when you can market that to our community, and hey, yeah, football's starting in the fall, but people that are Auburn Tigers or Tennessee Volunteers, they'll cheer for anything in any sport because they love the passion is so here in the South. So he teamed up with a player that's going to Kentucky, and they actually won their first-round match as well. So they ended up losing late last night, but it's been just super cool to see some of the local kids. We had a former Alabama player that's local. He actually won a round in the qualifying and then lost in the last round of qualifying. My youngest son was able to participate and got a late wild card entry into the qualifying and actually beat a professionally ranked person in his first round. And he's just going to be a junior over at Madison Academy. And so he ended up winning his first round qualifying match. So we really had some great local support, and they also were pretty successful. We had one of our little young ones that was only 14 years old, Maisie McGrady. She ended up getting in the draw late, and she competed well against a current Auburn player just at 14 years old. So it was really neat to see some of the local people get into the draw and then also have some success, which was super cool.
Yeah, well, I'm an old fart now because Eddie's got a kid playing at Madison Academy. He's a great player. Here we go.
Well, one going to Georgia too, though, right?
And one that's going to Georgia in the fall. So
here we go.
Yeah, so he's turning 20 right after he gets to Athens this fall. So I've got the older one is headed to Athens and is going to be a Bulldog and going to be a tennis player over there. And the younger one is
there's a shock going to Georgia.
Yeah. Hey, we paid homage to that.
We did.
It going into break. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Exactly. Actually, speaking of Bulldogs, there's actually one of the a fellow that did his 5th year actually at Georgia Tennis. He's actually in the quarterfinals of this later on this afternoon. So Bulldogs are representing pretty well.
Well, if anybody wants to come out, Eddie, it's free to come out. You can come out and watch it. Just let everyone know when it starts today and the plan and the time frame for the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. We have the quarterfinals of the women's singles today at 11. Restaurants open. We kind of have our deck that overlooks the courts, and then we got the men's quarterfinal at 4:30 this afternoon. We got some doubles sprinkled in. I know y'all brought it up earlier. I mean, I think we're right across the streets, and we're super, super close with the Huntsville City Football Club, and I know that game starts tonight as well. It's like, hey, we got men's quarterfinals across the street at the tennis, and at 4:30 you walk across and go to the soccer after that at about 7 o'clock. It's a pretty neat kind of environment around the city right now, like y'all said. And then we've got the semifinals and finals Saturday and Sunday starting at around 11 a.m. It's just a pretty cool event and cool vibe to be around the Huntsville sports kind of area right now. Everything seems to be thriving.
Well, Eddie, I wanted you to kind of, for our listeners too, you mentioned it's the first time in 25 years we've had this high level of professional competition in our city. So it had to take a lot of groundwork to get this laid and get them here. And you hope to bring them back next year. Talk about the process that you and your group went through to get this tournament and get all these players from around the world into our city.
Yeah, so this has been an interesting process. Southern Tennis Association, which is an association that represents 9 states, they actually put in the bid to be able to get this event under their umbrella. And then they reached out to me for us to be able to be the host.
Nice.
And so we end up being fortunate enough to be the host. This all actually transpired since late January, early February, where in a normal situation you normally have about a year to prepare. And this is something that really came on last second, and I said yes, and I went for it and said yes, we'd love to host it. So we'd love to be able to build on that momentum and be able to kind of get that again so we can really, really market this thing and do special things like college night and things like that to be able to bring out more people. The fan support actually has been wonderful for us pulling this thing off in just a handful of months, but love to continue to support it around the community and get this thing growing and hopefully have it for years to come.
All right. Well, great stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. A lot of great young players, and I think the adaptive athletics part too is great that you guys are helping showcase that, because again, we're kind of working in concert with Alabama, but we got and then Zane Goodwin's going to be there, a great player in his own right and playing with Alana. It's going to be a great a start to the event about 1:00 today, Eddie.
Yeah, it really is incredible, and we actually have an additional adaptive tennis going on tomorrow
nice.
that is going to bring in about 15 or 20 other adaptive tennis players that we're going to run a clinic for. We're going to help. We're actually going to have some of them walk out the players tomorrow during their semifinal match. We're going to have lunch. They're going to be here kind of watching all the tennis. So we really wanted to, showcase obviously the professional tennis, but we really wanted to also reach out to the community, bring in other avenues. We've done a 10 and under day already. We did a high school tennis day yesterday that had about 30 to 35 kids. We've done a little bit of everything to try to grab as much community development as we possibly can, and I think that's given back. That is such a huge element to all aspects of sports, not just tennis.
Yeah, well, we're loving that, and I know our good friend Scott Stapler, his daughter Caroline is going to be already a part of in middle school of the varsity program over at Huntsville High. I know they've got a lot of great young players over there, but so tennis seems to be thriving, very healthy, and you're a big part of it. And have a great Memorial Day weekend. Hope this event continues to run strong through the weekend, and then you guys can get this back. But congrats on bringing some great talent into our city and continuing to help promote the game of tennis and just be the face of it for our community.
Drew and Scott, I really appreciate it, guys, and appreciate you having me on, and looking forward to this weekend, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, Eddie Jenks with us. Good stuff. Yeah, it's a big tennis tournament, but it's also, they're doing a lot to try to promote a lot of other avenues
and not
as
just
well.
and not just the game of tennis, but also putting a spotlight on adaptive athletics and that and that form of tennis as well, which is at Alabama, it's turned into a machine. Recently, we were able to, with Brandon's help, we on the recruiting blitz, and we were able to talk to, Chad and I kind of interviewed the adaptive athletics coaches for basketball for the men's and women's program at Alabama, which they dominate. They're a national championship program, but the tennis program is also very good. Alabama's put tens of millions of dollars into their programs for adaptive athletics, and it's great to see.
All right, let's get our final break in for the week. When we come back, your tomorrow's headlines wrapping us up.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It looks like we're going to wrap things up in good shape this morning. No stalls or traffic signal headaches. You be careful on the rest of that trip in. We got a lot of folks in last-minute dash mode this morning. You could fly Breeze nonstop to Orlando, Las Vegas, or Tampa starting at $49. What are you waiting for? You could get to the fun faster, and you could book at flybreeze.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Guys, music can inspire us. Let the concert quality sound system at Zoom Indoor Cycling help push you harder than you ever thought possible. No matter if you're a beginner or an experienced rider, you'll ride top-of-the-line Stages SC3 bikes as the most talented instructors in North Alabama motivate you to reach your goals.
You can do it!
Zone Indoor Cycling is this week's Zone Deal. Get a $100 certificate for just $50. Get yours now at 977ESPN.com. $2 specialty shoe rental per ride for new riders.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Now open, this is your invitation to experience the grand opening of ABIQ's new 10,000 square foot showroom. The best brands in home audio, home theater, and home automation. The place to see and hear and feel and listen and watch. The place where you can audition top brand audio and video equipment before it goes in your home. World-class brands now available in Huntsville. Come experience the difference. 1833 University Drive, just east of the Parkway at the all-new AVIQHSV.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 8:51 on a Friday morning. See, I was messing that up big time on Saturday when we were at University Kia because we were doing this show in the afternoon. And I'm just so used to saying everything in the morning. And it's not the case. It was not the case when we were there on Saturday. Anyway, 256-576-4977. You want to get in the show, you should do so right now. 256-576-4977. Don't forget, coming up later today right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, you get Alabama and Vanderbilt. That'll be following the Texas A&M LSU game today. That's the SEC baseball tournament. And, hey, don't forget, though, coming up June 19th, we haven't mentioned it, circle your calendars. It's the 2023 Woody Anderson Ford Rocket City Awards presented by the Huntsville Sports Commission over at Mars Music Hall. That we're going to be handing out awards for the High School Athlete of the Year on the boys and girls side, High School Team of the Year on the boys and girls side, your North Alabama College Team of the Year, North Alabama Athlete of the Year on the boys and girls side, your Professional Athlete of the Year from the Huntsville area. We've got your Billy Neighbors Lifetime Achievement Award. We're going to be this is going to be a night of celebration, a night of champions. If you want to go, 977tickets at gmail.com. Send us an email. We will give you all of the ticket information for you to be there. And we want you to be there. We got food. We're going to have a good time.
Yes, we are. It's going to be a great night. Scott hinted at something that's one of our major awards that's going to be given out that night, which is the Billy Neighbors Award. And, he gave a hint about that earlier in the show, and we're really looking forward to that. we're really looking forward to honoring these student athletes, both in the high school and collegiate level and even professional level. It's going to be a great night, no doubt about it, and it's going to be groundbreaking for us. We're looking forward to it. We want to thank the Huntsville Sports Commission for their sponsorship.
Yeah.
And of course, Woody Anderson for it. No, I wasn't going to say that. So, but again, yeah. But we thank all of our great sponsors, and we've got a lot of interest already. UNA is going to be front and center as we're going to honor the great Jakari Lane. It's just one of those things where, we got a lot going on that's going to honor a lot of great athletes.
Yeah. And you'll want to get out there and you'll want to see it. So make sure you are a part of it.
Yep.
977tickets@gmail.com will get you in the door, and it'll be a fun night. And Drew's even going to dress up for it. So that's how I know it's going to be a big night.
Yeah, we'll see about this tie junk, But certainly, at very least, we're going to be business casual with a sport coat and everything like that.
Wear a tie, brother. You have to wear a tie.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't forget. You got Alabama softball coming up today, Super Regionals.
7 o'clock on ESPN2, and you'll hear it, this weekend on ESPN 97.7 The Zone. So hopefully Alabama can get back to Oklahoma City. You'll be able to hear some softball this weekend, some baseball. Scott's already been talking about that, as Alabama will take the field tonight. 35 minutes after the conclusion of the LSU Texas A&M elimination game. That game is at 3.
Yeah.
Alabama could play anywhere from in the 6 o'clock hour to 7. We will see. Hopefully no rain. I hope Scott didn't jinx it. He said there was a 30% chance.
Well, I also said there's a 70% chance that it does not rain.
And the two games that are in the Super Regionals in softball in Tuscaloosa, as we said, tonight's will be at 7. Saturdays would be at 8. And then if it goes to a game 3, I don't know if they've decided what time yet, but that would be on Sunday. And hopefully we'll have both Alabama and Auburn playing this weekend. Excuse me. Let me Alabama softball and Alabama baseball. Let me preface that.
Right.
Auburn, we hope, is going to be hosting a regional next weekend in baseball.
All that out on Sunday.
Softball fell a little short, but they got to the finals at Clemson. But again, I think Butch Thompson's crew should be hosting a regional next week. Hopefully Alabama baseball will be as well.
If Auburn does host, it'd be the first time in school history that they've hosted in back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, and they'd have a chance to make Omaha for the third time in 4 years. So still a lot to play for Auburn, and Alabama, of course, got a lot at stake this weekend, baseball and softball.
Now it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update.
Travis d'Arnaud comes off the bench and delivers in the clutch as the Braves take down the Phillies on Thursday night.
The 2023 Braves promotional calendar features a variety of exciting gate giveaways. To see the full schedule, head to Braves.com/promos.
Thursday night in front of the third largest crowd in Truist Park history, the Braves got an 8-5 win over the Phillies in Game 1.